Hey everybody, welcome back to another video on the Mathematical Genius YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be going over a really easy topic, multiplicative inverses. This video is the third video in 7th grade math under the unit of number theory. Before we begin, I'm going to really quickly talk about which videos are coming up on this channel. So in the next video, I'll be talking about how to find the GCF and LCM of two numbers. Then, the video after that will be how to sort factors of numerical expressions. Next will be scientific notation. After that, classifying numbers. And finally, factorials. So let's get right into it. Before we do the math of how to find multiplicative inverses, I'm going to really quickly tell you guys how to find the multiplicative inverses of a number. This is very easy. The multiplicative inverse of a number is the reciprocal of that number. If you don't know what a reciprocal is, no worries because that's what I'm here for. Basically, reciprocals are the number but flipped. For example, the reciprocal of 2 is 1/2 since 2 is equal to 2 over 1 and 2 over 1 flipped is 1 over 2. What a multiplicative inverse means is that the second number, or the reciprocal of the first, times the first number has to be equal to 1. If you are a little confused, that's completely fine because we are going to do a few example problems. I am going to work on 5 example problems with you guys, and then I will give you 15 problems to work on your own. I'm giving more problems today because the lesson was really short and it is really easy. So here is the first example problem. Find the multiplicative inverse of 1/3. All we need to do is flip the fraction 1/3 over. The opposite of 1/3 is 3 over 1, or just 3, which is the multiplicative inverse. If you want to test this out to make sure, all we need to do is multiply 1/3 by 3 and make sure it equals 1, which holds true. Now let's move on to the second example problem. Find the multiplicative inverse of 7/8. All we need to do to get this answer is flip 7/8 around. The opposite of 7/8 is 8/7. In case we want to check this to make sure the answer is correct, we need to multiply 7/8 by 8/7 and it should equal 1, and it does. Let's now work on the third example problem. Find the multiplicative inverse of 1 and 2/3. This question might be a little harder since it is in mixed form, but it is nothing that we can't handle. The first step that we should take is converting this into an improper fraction. Once we have finished converting, we would get 5/3. When we flip this fraction around to get the multiplicative inverse, we would get 3/5. We can also make sure by multiplying these two together and making sure it equals 1, which it does. Now let's do the fourth example problem. Find the multiplicative inverse of 16 and 4/5. This example problem is the same as the last. The first step that we need to take is convert the mixed number into an improper fraction. After we finish converting the mixed number, we would get 84/5. To get the multiplicative inverse, we just need to flip this fraction around and we would get 5/84. If we multiply 84/5 by 5/84, we would get 1. Here is the last example problem that we will work on together. Find the multiplicative inverse of 2/9. We can see that this fraction is not a mixed number, so the only step that we need to take is flipping the numbers around. Once we do so, we would get the answer as 9/2. We can make sure by multiplying 2/9 by 9/2, which equals 1. Now that I've done 5 example problems with you guys, here are 15 problems for you to work on. Please pause the video and work on them on your own, and in a second I will show you guys the answers, and then I will show the remaining 5 problems. So here are the answers. The answer to the first problem is 5/9. The answer to the second problem is 3 over 52. The answer to the third problem is 1 over 45. The answer to the fourth problem is 7 over 442. The answer to the fifth problem is 18 over 93. The answer to the sixth problem is 3 over 13. The answer to the seventh problem is 1 over 15. The answer to the eighth problem is 7 over 71. The answer to the ninth problem is 11 over 3. And the answer to the 10th problem is 15 over 201. Now here are the remaining 5 problems. Here are the answers. The answer to the 11th problem is 1/3. The answer to the 12th problem is 4/77. The answer to the 13th problem is 5. The answer to the 14th problem is 7/101. And the answer to the 15th problem is 1/2. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, make sure you like and subscribe. In the next video, I will be talking about how to find the GCF and LCM of two numbers. That's it for this video, and I will see you guys next time.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling. I'm on, it's lovely weather.